Clip at Stetson, falling 76-71, despite 17 from Cameron Oriole and 5 Ospreys in double figures. That's your 1010XL local sports update. I'm Sam Nelson.
Right now, 42 degrees at 10:01. Time and 10 brought to you by Bueller Air and Plumbing. Stay cooler with Bueller.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When it's game time, Farah doesn't flinch.
When it comes to our edge, right? We're constantly trying to find our edge, right? And as we go into year 2, year 1, extremely important, right, guys, for setting the tone and establishing the way that we want to operate, the way that we want to play, and going through that. I think we did that.
He slipped and he fell down. Trevor fell down on the play. Now he's going to try and run it in. He's in it. He is on touchdown. Trevor ran it in. He ran it in. Touchdown.
There's no guaranteed success, but I do feel like this is sustainable. The things that we're doing, I know offensively and defensively, I mean, just both sides of the ball had a hell of a year when it got down to the end, where we finished and the growth that we had.
There is no year more important than year 2. There's no year. Because, man, let's be honest, there's been a lot of one-hit wonders. That's the reality.
Running room for Parker Washington, 45, 40, 30, on the right sideline. Parker Washington, he's going to bring it back. Parker Washington, touchdown Jacksonville. There are no flags.
They just go hop on the bandwagon right now. Everybody in this locker room on the Jaguars team, even upstairs, we know everybody probably going to try to hop on this bandwagon now, but we don't want anybody. They can stay where they at. It's us. It's all about the Jags.
Knocked down. Devon Hamilton knocked it down. It's no good. The Jaguars win it. The Jaguars win it. That ball is going to be knocked away. The Jags win it in overtime with another terrific defensive play. All these cardiac cats.
Everybody but us. Excuse my language, mama and dad, grandmama, but everybody but us.
What are we doing to separate ourselves so that we take the next step as a team?
Now, after that sack, Josh has set the franchise career record for sacks. Congratulations to Josh Hines Allen.
I can't really sit up here and say that, what our season is going to look like next year, but I can say that we got a team full of guys that's committed to each other. Obviously, the team's going to be a little different. You heard what Coach just said. It's a business at the end of the day. Some people are going to be here, some people are not. But the guys that step on this field, leading to OTAs, to training camp, to the first game of the season, to the last, those are guys we're going to ride with, and those opportunities we're going to try to develop and win.
We're trading up in the draft. We're moving from pick 5 to pick 2, and we're doing it because you're the one we've been hunting up.
Yes, sir. That's the best decision.
That ball's caught by Travis Hunter. He's into the end zone. Touchdown.
To be able to put it all together this spring, I think it'll be fun.
Fires middle of the field. That was caught. 35, 30, 25, 20. Brian Thomas Jr. He hung on to that one. Fires middle of the field. That ball is going to be caught for the touchdown. Jacoby Myers. Along the left sideline. 50, 45, 30, 20, 10, 5. Touchdown. Touchdown. Touchdown.
We're going to bring you a product that you all can be proud of. And we are so appreciative of your support. With that, game on.
Now, Jaguars Today on 1010XL with Mike Dempsey, Fat Tony, and RJ Saunders.
All right, welcome in, everybody. That is a good way to start a week. RJ Saunders giving you the sounds of the offseason. Tony Smith is here. I am Mike Dempsey. Good morning. Hello.
Good morning.
What's up? How's your weekend?
It was good. I'm a fan every time you've used it to this point, RJ. Whenever I hear the remix of Going the Distance from the Rocky soundtrack, it just gets me hyped.
You love everything from the Rocky
soundtrack, it's my jam.
I know it is.
There is no doubt about that. But yeah, that Going the Distance track, whoop, gets me going.
Rocky IV, Tony Smith thinks, is the greatest form of Americana that's ever been placed on
It is
film.
what it is. It's a Rocky cartoon,
That's
but it's
fine.
a lot of fun, yeah.
So, Tony.
Yeah.
Might need Rocky. Your curling's over. You got no more curling.
Yeah.
So. I didn't make it to the hockey yesterday. So
it was fun.
I'm sure it was.
Yeah.
I'm not knocking anybody for watching the Winter Olympics. It was just, for whatever reason, man, I just had blinders on for the whole 2 weeks.
I get it. Like, it's not like I haven't been locked in for the hockey the whole time. Obviously, I've been locked in on the curling with what's been going on with that. But I did watch the gold medal match yesterday, and for the Olympics is its own sort of thing, right? Like, there's the handful of sports that are really the team sports, the racing things, that kind of thing, and then you have they have judges basically that are trying to apply points based on different things with the skating and that kind of. I'm very much into team sports. It's why I'm doing a show like we're doing now.
Sure.
Like, I love sports where I can identify the winner without anyone having to tell me who won. It's like, oh, they scored more, they won, right? Like, that's my favorite kind of game. And if you watch the gold medal match against Canada yesterday, Canada dominated the game.
So I've heard.
Like, they just dominated the game, but the goalie was playing on his head, right? Like, incredible the kind of moments that they had in the game, and they just found a way. It's, I think everyone is a fan of boxing until it goes to the scorecards, right? Like, everyone enjoys just them trying to beat one another until you get to the cards, and it's like, well, I don't know. Like, it's hard to tell. Well, with sports like that, we don't have judges' decisions. Did you score more than the other team?
Right.
You won by knockout. Every time these teams go out, the U.S. won a gold medal yesterday against Canada by knockout.
Yeah, they're Canadians are a little sad today or angry or whatever the case may be. Let them. I don't really care how they feel about it, and good for the USA for winning Olympic gold, and they'll let them try to cope. I guess north of the border because like, I get it. Can you imagine if somebody beat us in football? It may not be the equivalent. I think that would be a harder task. Because you only need 6 on the ice, including the goalie, to play hockey.
We already know a little bit of that with the basketball team. Like, anytime the U.S. basketball team gets beat, we're all just going, what's going on? How'd that happen?
Right. But even that, you need 5 guys on the court. Your country doesn't need to have a roster of 45 to 55 guys that could compete with the very best that have been playing it for their entire life. Good luck catching up in that one. It'll take a while. Today, Tony, we're going to catch up on some draft stuff, which will be rapidly approaching sooner rather than later, about 2 months away. Now, Eric Edholm is one of the lead draft analysts over at NFL.com. He's going to join us coming up in less than 10 minutes, and we'll talk about the landscape out there. It is Mock Draft Monday around these parts. We decided, I don't know, maybe it's a little early for the 7-round mocks. I just felt like, let's see if we can't tighten this up and we can get a few more people participating this way as well. This week, we went with Pro Football Network. Again, it's a free mock draft simulator. The one at Pro Football Focus is free for 3 rounds. So we may end up using that one next week, because really that's where the juicy stuff is for the Jags right now with the 3 third-round picks plus pick 56. So we did our 3-round mocks, 4 picks for the Jags. RJ, any trades for you this week in your mock draft?
No.
Okay, us either. Yeah, I don't think we made that a hard and fast rule this week, but I still feel a little weird taking some of these offers that are on the table, especially, Tone, if we're only going to look at the first 3 rounds. If the compensation I get back is outside those rounds, like somebody wants to move up 10 spots and they're going to give me a 3rd rounder next year, whatever. I want to focus in on the players the Jags might be acquiring. So we'll do that coming up today. And also a piece over at ESPN that we want to get into. By the way, D-Rock wrote a nice article on the Jags options with Brian Thomas Jr., how they hope to get more out of him going forward in 2026 and beyond. So check that out over at ESPN.com. But Ben Solak put one out at the end of last week that we didn't get into, ranking the deepest and thinnest positions in free agency and the draft combined. In other words, hey, you know what? Maybe you don't get it here. Maybe you get it there. Well, which positions have that abundance? And which ones line up with what we think the Jags' needs are?
In regard to one that we've talked about a bunch, it's exactly what you've heard and thought it was.
Yes, I think I know the exact one you're talking about. And they say it's a good group if you're in the market for X. Like, if you're in the market for, it'd be like if you're in the market for a slow, heavy cornerback who can't really cover, right? Like, for
it's
instance,
a big market.
And now, that's not a direct quote from the article, but that's kind of how they look at some of these positions. Like, well, you better not be looking for this, and or don't be looking for any help.
Or if you are, it better be this very specific.
This one guy. This one guy. So hey, quarterback needers. The Raiders are in decent shape. Maybe whoever lands Malik Willis will be happy, Tone, but it's a pretty thin group.
They'll convince themselves they're happy.
Maybe they always do. Yeah. You always convince yourself you're happy and moving in the right direction. So anyway, we'll get into a whole bunch of different things today. So today we're just asking you to play along. That's our question of the day. Who would be your favorite 4-player combo that you could come up with using the Pro Football Network mock draft simulator? If you go to social media, I tweeted out a link to it. It's free. You just click the team, the Jaguars, that you want to represent in the draft. You click the speed of the draft and how many rounds you want to go. And if you pick fast, it'll be like literally less than 5 seconds before on the clock would pick 56. And then it'll tell you who the best available are, give you scouting reports. It's just a fun little exercise to see what different combinations of players we can put together. And we've been doing that for the last year or so on these all-season Mondays. So we'll continue that today. Also, PFT, Pro Football Talk, put out their own list of the top 100 free agents. Devin Lloyd, very highly regarded. We'll get to that coming up as well. But Eric Edholm going to join us straight ahead from NFL.com. Mike Dempsey, Tony Smith, RJ Saunders here with you, kicking off a fresh week. You can join the program on the air at 641-1010 on the Key Buick GMC phone lines or the text line designed by Lifetime Enclosures. Stream us on YouTube, on X, on Facebook, or find us on social media at MD_1010XL, at 1010XL Fat Tony, and at R has no J. Oh, I like it. Yeah, I don't know what it is, but it's new. That sounds like one of those like NBC, the more you know things, but I know it's not that. What is that?
Okay, so last week on Friday, I played the sounder that they play when the Lakers make a 3-point field goal. If the Sixers make 2 free throws when they're at the free throw line.
That's what you get.
That's what you get.
Right there. All right.
So, who knows? Maybe I'll play something like this tomorrow.
3-point goal.
Maybe. Maybe you will.
You don't know what that sound is?
You just said 3-point goal, right? That's what that says.
But who's the PA announcer?
I don't know who the PA announcer is.
You do know?
I don't know.
It's from the Knicks.
I cannot tell you who the Knicks PA announcer is.
But you know it's the Knicks.
I don't know it's the Knicks.
Oh,
I'm sorry.
Sorry.
What do you think? I don't watch the Knicks. Like, are they on MSG or what? I don't have MSG.
No, sometimes they're on.
I don't know what
NBC.
they're on. Yeah, are they on Yes or is that the Nets? Yeah,
that's the
right.
Nets.
So I don't.
But they used to be on Yes.
I get when they're on NBC though. I watch the game. I don't. Yeah, you got me, man. You totally got me because I definitely do not know who the NBA
I was trying to
PA
create,
announcers are.
Like bonding, like with.
I know you were.
With us.
I know you were.
I was trying to say like, hey, I'm on your side with the good guys.
Bad effort. Okay, bad effort. You're a multiple jersey guy. I can't trust you. All right, you're Magic one day, you're Lakers the next day.
That's why Dylan's saying he's coming back, right?
You can't be trusted. That's right. I saw Coach Denmark this weekend. Yeah. He said he's got a platter of his finest smoked meats and cheeses ready for you. Okay, because you've been doing such a great job. No, because you're doing such a great job, you Mr. Paranoid RJ Saunders over here. We love you. All right, let's take a break and come back and talk draft with Eric Edholm before this thing devolves any quicker than it has already. All right, welcome in, everybody. This is Jaguars Today, fresh week on 1010XL and 92.5 FM. Hey, folks, Mike Dempsey here. If you're looking for the best selection of trucks in Jacksonville, look no further because it is truck time at Big Number 1 Duval Ford. Duval Ford has Jacksonville's largest lineup of brand new trucks with massive discounts, over $10,000 off select models. That's right, savings that you're not going to get anywhere else in Duval or anywhere else. Your next truck is waiting at Big Number 1 Duval Ford. So swing by 1616 Cassett Avenue. See the showroom today. Visit DuvalFord.com online. It's truck time at Duval Ford.
Jaguars
Today.
From the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors Studios of 1010XL. Running wild at the bank.
Explosive run.
This is 1010XL.
And Jacksonville has taken the lead.
Home of the Jaguars.
Flame Broiler, the Rice Bowl King, is turning up the flavor with new char wings. These wings are charbroiled, never fried, grilled to perfection for a big taste without the grease. Grab them as a 3-piece or 10-piece side, or make it a meal with a 6 or 8-piece combo, served with rice and a drink. Order pickup or delivery today from any of Flame Broiler's 5 Jacksonville locations, or call 904-619-2786. Flame Broiler. Bold flavor done right.
Dream Finders Homes Monday.
Jaguars Today.
If your ride is making strange noises, don't wait and make it work.
Come to Action Transmission on Merrill Road. My expert technicians can diagnose the problem and likely fix it fast. Experience the difference at Action Transmission on Merrill Road.
Graceful like a heel.
You have 2 women?
Strong-minded like a helmet.
Good.
Tom McManus straps on the helmet and joins Lauren Brooks and Taylor Dahl.
Helmets and heels.
Afternoons 2 to 4. Served by Green Law Group on 1010XL.
The Players' Championship returns to TPC Sawgrass March 10th through 15th. Experience golf's most iconic stage with enhanced food and beverage offerings, interactive fan attractions, and an atmosphere built for every type of fan. See the best players in the world, including world number 1 Scotty Scheffler, 2025 champion Rory McIlroy, and fan favorite Brooks Koepka take on the legendary Stadium Course and the famous Island Green. Tickets available at theplayers.com.
Create a backyard your family will love. Jack's Outdoor Solutions, an authorized dealer of Celebrity Greens, installs PGA quality artificial turf golf greens and complete outdoor spaces. From turf to custom hardscapes, landscaping, and lighting, every project is built for style, durability, and family fun. Locally owned and trusted across Northeast Florida, customers rave about their results. Check their 5-star reviews on Google. Plan your dream backyard today at jacksoutdoorsolutions.com.
Hey Jacksonville, it's Fred Taylor. If you've been in an auto accident, you need a team who knows how to get you back on your feet and back to your life. At North Florida Medical Center, they don't just treat the injury, they treat the whole person, from physical therapy to pain management. North Florida Medical Center has a team of experts ready to help you heal and recover. I trust the team here at North Florida Medical Center, and you can too. So don't wait. Call North Florida Medical Center and get the care you deserve.
Hi, it's Tara Lagaman. Jeff and I love Local Fair Jacks for fresh eggs, quality meat, produce. It's all from local farmers. There's no scary recalls, just food you can feel good about feeding your family. Learn more at localfairjacks.com.
Checkmate. I'm Brendan Cecilia, founder of Checkmate Coatings.
And I'm Chester, company mascot at your service.
There are 2 important steps to installing the perfect garage floor. The 2-stage coating application? Sure. But nothing is more important than preparing the floor. Our team uses diamond grinding machines to grind your floors to a smooth, level finish. Only then can we...
Hold on! You grind garage floors with perfectly lovely diamonds?
No, Chester. We grind floors to perfection using the very best ugly diamonds. Too ugly for jewelry, but perfect for the grinding pads we use to prep the surface.
Perfect preparation and application. Now that's a perfect marriage.
Ugly diamonds?
Check. Perfect preparation?
Check. Smooth, gorgeous, gleaming floors that really catch your eye? Checkmate!
Transforming your floors, making them great. Checkmate.
Visit checkmatecoatings.com.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Focused, fueled, fearless, Farah. Here's another call on the 1010XL hotline, driven by Key Buick GMC, home of the lifetime powertrain warranty. Everything you need to know about the Jaguars today on 1010XL.
All right, here on the Key Buick GMC hotline, we welcome in from NFL.com their lead draft analyst, Eric Edholm, Mike Dempsey, and Tony Smith here with you in Jacksonville, FLA. Jaguars today, kicking off a fresh week. Eric, thanks for taking a few minutes out. Got the Combine coming up. I'm sure it's a somewhat of a busy time for you. How are things with you, man?
Yeah, good morning. Doing well. I'm packing up a bag and heading out tomorrow morning, and I'll be in Indy all week, so I'm looking forward to a week of a lot of steak, little sleep, and lots of prospect news.
Right on. And not rubbing elbows with the Jaguars brass, because they will not be going. Yeah. And that's fine. Like, I get their philosophy of why they're doing it, but I want to dig in start with you on this. You did a after the season power ranking on where the teams stand heading into the 2026 offseason. You had the Jags at number 9. I don't think that's insulting or anything like that. I think that's fair. So from your point of view, give me 1 or 2 things that the Jaguars have to prioritize this offseason to either maintain or improve that ranking over the course of the season.
Yeah, I mean, obviously it was a tremendous year in Jacksonville with some unexpected moments. And, you know, I think they were one of my mystery teams coming into the year, just not knowing, I think I was maybe a little higher on them than some people, but boy, I didn't see anything like the season they had coming. So, caught me off guard, obviously, but after a certain point, we knew they could hang, and we knew that this offense was humming, and the defense had made some real strides. I think obviously the pass defense still needs some tweaking. Stopped the run really well last year. You still have to have a little bit more offensive consistency and kind of figuring out what to do with some of these veterans who were not drafted by this regime and what the plan is, whether it's, Etienne or Walker Little who got the extension, and kind of cleaning up the roster, because obviously in a year where you don't have a first round pick, and there are some big decisions to be made, I guess, and still hanging with, a division that could be on the rise. Obviously the Colts got better last year. Titans drafted a quarterback, have a new regime in place, and there's some, a guarded optimism, I would say there. So, again, I think it's about kind of tightening the screws a little bit, but you can never be satisfied after just one good year. You've got to back it up and show that you can, hang consistently with the big boys.
Fernando Mendoza said over the weekend that he won't be throwing at the Combine this week. What is your reaction to Mendoza, or really any of the highly thought of prospects, saying that they won't work out at the NFL Combine and that they'll save it for their pro days?
I think it's a case-by-case basis, but in this particular situation with Mendoza, in a year where there's no quarterback who's going to challenge him, and that's not to say he's an Andrew Luck level prospect, or even I don't even think he's going to come into the league with Trevor Lawrence-like buzz. I really don't think so. I think there are a lot of people who understand he had a terrific season. There's a lot to like about him as a prospect. I kind of put him more on the Jared Goff, Sam Darnold tier, if you will, and that's entering the league, right? I mean, that's, not necessarily Super Bowl winning Sam Darnold or Jared Goff, who's been very successful now for several years and has made a Super Bowl and all that. But that's kind of the style of player, and I think maybe the tier he's in, where there's plenty of optimism, but not as much pizzazz as maybe some of these other, including Drake May, Jaden Daniels, Caleb Williams, that trio a couple years ago. So in Fernando's case, he's got everything to lose and nothing to gain, right? He's projected as the number one pick. The Raiders need a quarterback. They don't appear to be moving off that spot. If he has a terrible throwing session, all of a sudden people might say, well, what's going on here, right? But it sounds like some of the other top prospects, including the Ohio State kids and Jeremiah Love, are going to be working out. And we're always going to be a little disappointed. There's been kind of a backslide, and some guys don't even, Marvin Harrison famously didn't even participate in the event other than kind of show up and get his paperwork done and stuff like that. So, again, case by case, there's always going to be some top prospects who feel emboldened by their draft standing and don't feel the need to perform there.
Yeah, I get why Mendoza wouldn't throw, because he's going to orchestrate a pro day that puts him in the best position. All the rest of the rest of them, though, should be throwing, Eric, in my opinion. I know everyone's saying, Ty Simpson, the number 2 quarterback, but establish that. Go out. Somebody has a chance to go make a name for themselves. That's not our issue here in Jacksonville, though. We know that's a position we're not going to be investing heavily in. Maybe, who knows, a developmental guy late. But so the Jags don't have a pick until 56. So in your opinion, and they can make some hay in the third round. They've got 3 third-round picks. So between 56 and 100, they have 4 picks. Give me the type of positions you think that'll be the richest in the draft in that kind of range.
Yeah, I would say that the draft positions that have both enough high-end talent, obviously, to kind of populate those spots, but enough depth to still be rewarding in that range, kind of the late second on. Through the end of day 2, probably defensive end. The edge rusher class is very strong. I like the DB class. I think it's one of the better years in recent memory. Maybe not the best, but good. I think cornerback's going to be pretty strong at the top and marginally strong in that area compared to other years. Second, third round, you're going to still see, I think, some interesting prospects down there. Wide receiver is definitely going to have enough depth there, I think, to make people happy. And, that may only apply to the Jaguars if there's a Brian Thomas trade or something dramatic like that, where they feel like, okay, there's a price we're getting back that's better than either the production we saw last year or the production we forecast going forward. And, again, another player that wasn't drafted by this regime, so it wouldn't be insane. But again, I would think that's a little bit more of a luxury move at this point. But the tight end depth is pretty good. I don't know that there's much at the top. Like, I don't see a ton of top 50 players. I think there's maybe one or two. But I think in that second tier of the draft, tight end is actually decent. Offensive line, it kind of depends a little bit. There's some swing guys who are pretty good and some guard prospects I think are going to be okay, but it's not my favorite position this year. And linebackers pretty deep. And again, that may, pertain to the Jaguars from a Devin Lloyd standpoint and all that. So the linebacker might be one of the low-key stronger positions in this draft that I think maybe not as many people are talking about it. It's a good group.
How much access do NFL teams have to, we see everyone has their own style of this kind of thing, but the next-gen type stats that the NFL seems to use a lot right now, how much access do NFL teams have to that kind of thing when they're evaluating players as they're entering the league at this point?
Yeah, there's a lot of obviously tracking data that measures acceleration and burst, and obviously play speed versus, track speed. The guys running in track shoes on a flat surface, and like in perfect conditions and all that. So, I think some of that stuff is obviously used. It's funny, we've almost gotten to the point where I wouldn't say there's a pushback against the analytics. I don't want to suggest that, because teams are still hiring and investing in the advanced data and all that. But there's almost like hey, don't forget about the old school scouting tenets, right? There's still a belief that we have to go through our checklist of how we did things in the old days. So there's kind of that stage of scouting right now where it's a marriage of the new and old schools a little bit. And I think there are merits for both. So, but yeah, I mean, you see a lot of this stuff, and some of it comes down to historical things where, like the list of quarterbacks. You mentioned Ty Simpson earlier. I know you aren't looking for a quarterback, but just to use an example.
Sure.
The number of quarterbacks with 15 or fewer college starts who ended up being, let's say, first round picks or top 50 picks and had extensive success in the NFL is not real long. So you look at those kind of things too, and you say, does this mean we have to be overwhelmed by Simpson to be convinced that he's worth taking in the 20s, let's say, or even higher than that? Those are the kind of debates that I think are spurred from some of the advanced numbers in terms of studying college prospects, what their pedigree is, and how that projects the league, even if they're always outliers, even if they're always exceptions.
All right, Eric, as we get ready to wrap with you, as you head to Indianapolis for the Scouting Combine, give us one or two players you're particularly interested in watching to see if their performance, their numbers match what you saw on film or vice versa.
Yeah, I think one of my favorite players in this draft is Sonny Styles, linebacker at Ohio State. I know that's probably a little above your range unless there is some dramatic trade up, which I don't foresee. But to me, you could almost be talking about him as the best defensive player in this draft. I think he'll test really well. Big, rangy guy. Kind of the Devin Lloyd of this draft almost, I guess. That's one way to say it, I suppose. But Caden Proctor is another one. Is just a massive humanity who, I wouldn't rule out going in the top 10. A team like the Kansas City Chiefs has always sort of favored those big, impossibly large men who can move better than average for their size. So, Eagles obviously prioritize that stuff too. And there's a number of teams that kind of feel like, they're willing to overlook some warts if they have God-given gifts that most players don't have. But, I don't know that Proctor's going to go Jordan Davis running wise, but I think he'll test pretty well, and that'll maybe boost his stock because there are a lot of tackles or he could be a guard, I guess, but not much separating that top group right now. And so some of those workouts will help kind of settle some debates.
Well, we'll definitely watch through your coverage in part over at NFL.com. You can find Eric out there on the X platform at Eric_Edholm, EDHOLM, just like it sounds. And check out his work, as always, over at NFL.com, where he's their lead draft analyst. Eric, we appreciate you taking a few minutes out before you hop on a plane. And we'll enjoy your coverage, and hopefully you enjoy your time in Indy for the next couple weeks.
I will. Thank you, fellas. Appreciate it.
All right, buddy. We appreciate it as well. Eric Edholm of NFL.com. Tony, it's tough to hone in with some of these guys, on the Jags. It's nice to get a sense of where they think the value is at in these drafts. And we'll see if ESPN agrees with that. We told you there's that piece that they did where they ranked, what if you're looking for this position, you're in good shape. If you're looking for this one, not so much. And that's a combined draft and free agency ranking. So, of course, that does not take into account James Gladstone's superior trading abilities, Tone. But we'll dig into that. Also, Javonte Williams got a contract over the weekend for the Dallas Cowboys. How does that reflect on what Travis Etienne's market might be? We'll discuss that and more coming up, but we'll unveil our 4-player, 3-round mocks for the Jacksonville Jaguars coming up on Jaguars Today here on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Jaguars Today. You're at the home of the Jaguars in the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors Studios. Superior products, exceptional service. Streaming live from the XL Digital Studios. Polished by Harbor Dental Care, the locally owned smile restoration experts.
Bro, have you heard about the hottest and newest sports league in town?
Vanguard Sports League isn't just VIP, it's the standard. Smoke-filled tunnel intros, cool benches with canopies, big scoreboards, championship rings, and convenient locations all across Jacksonville. Oh, and Mascot Potty's there hyping everyone up every game. No wonder it's the talk of the town. Spring and summer registration now open.
Search VanguardSportsLeague.com today.
It's a Dreamfinders Homes Monday.
Official home builder of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
It's Cancer Prevention Month, and Ackerman Urology reminds you to stay ahead of prostate, bladder, and kidney health. Get a yearly checkup, ask about a screening, and make self-checks a habit. To make an appointment at one of 4 locations, visit AckermanUrology.com.
Zero Res Month of Love Sale. Hicken here. Not only is your carpet one of the biggest investments in your home, it's also the biggest air filter in your home. If your carpet hasn't been professionally cleaned, you're breathing unhealthy levels of nasty dirt, dander, bacteria, and germs that keep recirculating again and again. Lucky for you, Zero Res is going to spread the love to you and your home. Get 3 rooms of carpet clean starting at just $149. Book online at ZeroResJacksonville.com and say you want the 1010XL or Dan Hicken special.
Zero Res. Life is about choices and the decisions you make. I'm David Robbins with Epstein & Robbins. If you're convicted of a DUI, you'll have to face severe consequences. Walking through the doors of the courthouse or appearing at a bond hearing can be extremely intimidating. Without the right lawyer, you're likely to make the wrong decision. Let our team help you make the right decisions in court. Epstein & Robbins, the right choice.
Epstein & Robbins, fighting for your rights since 1975.
For nearly 60 years, Green Acres Sporting Goods at the corner of Normandy and Hammond Boulevard has been Jacksonville's trusted name for the outdoors. From archery to hunting and fishing and more, their expert staff helps you get it right the first time. Right now, stop in and try the newest bows by Hoyt and Matthews and get dialed in before spring. Gear up today at greenacresporting.com.
Lauren Brooks here for Terminix. When mice and rats show up in your home or business, they can be a real pain. You need them out fast, before they have time to multiply. Terminix knows how to shut down rodents and will keep them from coming back to wreak more havoc. When rodents show up, so does Terminix. Don't live with a rodent problem, Terminix it. Visit Terminix.com today to schedule a free inspection online just like I did. That's TERMINIX.com. TERMINIX.com.
Jacksonville, you voted, and Baker Glass came out on top. The Bold City Best Awards are all about locals choosing their favorites, and you picked them for Best Auto Glass and Best Glass and Mirror Service.
I'm back with Baker Glass. No one treats you better.
I'm here with Clayton Bromberg of Underwoods. Clayton, when a customer goes to buy a diamond, how do they know what they are getting?
Frank, that's a good question because what they know comes from the assurances given by the seller, and they can only judge based on the knowledge and reputation of the selling store. Now, over the last 25 years, I've seen some customers misled, and unfortunately, Underwoods was the bearer of bad news too many times. In the 1980s, we saw diamonds brought in with exaggerated grades and no laboratory grading reports. Then in the 90s, we saw some of the poorest cut diamonds ever, even though they had laboratory reports on weight, color, and clarity. Then the American Gem Society opened a laboratory and started grading diamonds for cut, and poorly cut diamonds got priced for what they were. Now we see diamonds from the internet and other places where diamonds are bought sight unseen with a lab report and a bogus appraisal. Unfortunately, not all those diamonds match the reports they're sold with, but how would a customer know? Probably today more than ever, the truest statement is, if you don't know diamonds, you better know a jeweler you can trust.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Still, present, ready. Farah doesn't flinch. Jaguars Today on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
And there's my man right there, RJ Saunders. I've been singing this all morning, right? Because Paradise Season 2 comes out today, or at least the first episode. I don't know how it's working. I don't know if they're doing the whole thing. They're probably doing it once a week.
Mm-hmm.
It's a good show and the greatest show ever, but I rewatched it. It's only 8 episodes, Tone. And one of their little kind of gimmicks that they do is they take 80s songs and then they use them. Sometimes they'll play the actual 80s song in the show, and then by the end of the show, they've got like a slowed down version that's a cover version.
Yeah.
And so I've had this, just another day in paradise going over and over and over in my head, and I can't get away from it. So there you go. Was it Sterling K. Brown? Is that the actor's name? I think that's from
Sounds
This Is Us. Is that
familiar?
I never watched This Is Us. That was a hugely popular show.
No. You know what I started watching this weekend, and it's been on my queue list.
Oh, do tell.
On Peacock for a while now.
Mm-hmm.
And I know it's a show that you've mentioned before. That's why I bring it up.
Ooh.
Right? But it had always been, it's like, I'll get to that. Homicide.
Oh.
I had never really watched it.
Homicide.
Love it.
Love it.
Like,
right?
At the end of
it's so
season
good,
one,
right?
I love it.
I'm so happy for you. Yeah, I'm so happy because I know how good it is.
Yeah.
And Andre Brower is like,
he's great.
Unbelievable in that show. But everybody in that was so good.
Yeah. Life on the Streets.
Homicide,
I'm
Life on the Streets, which was, I was reading something about like going back to the creation of The Wire and
David Simon,
yeah, and there was a cop in that show that was literally based on a real cop, and the real cop played another character in that show, like the real Baltimore cop did, and it was kind of connected to Homicide as
it's
well.
Kind of fun. Like, I'm still obviously in the first season going through it this weekend, but I had read David Simon's book.
Yeah.
Where he had spent a year just embedded.
A Life on the Killing Streets or whatever it was.
Yeah, just embedded with the Baltimore Homicide Department. Like, he'd actually done it. And so a bunch of the stories that I had read in that book are showing up early in the show. So I have some familiarity with, I know what this is. Like I even know what this case is.
Such a good show.
Yeah,
though,
I
man.
love it.
Such a good show. Love the way, my wife hated the way it was shot. It had that kind of abrupt, like handheld camera look to it, whatever. But kids these days, you got so many great shows. And that show holds up,
Absolutely.
Like they're not going to have like an iPhone. But other than that, if you can, imagine the technology gap, that's a hell of a show. I'm glad for you, Tone. Where's our man at right now?
He's hiding from.
Is he?
The stinging insect. I think it's
is
found
its way. You want to come in here?
It's found its way into the room.
Do you want Tony to save you? RJ got a wasp in the control room, and RJ has decided he's not going to participate.
He suffers
in
no
Mock Draft
stinging.
Monday.
Yeah.
He's like, nope, I'm going out in the hole. And it's one of those, and I can relate to this. You got a problem, right? You call somebody, like your car's doing something.
Mm-hmm.
I keep turning on the car, and this light's coming on, and it's worrying me. And then you go to take it in, and they turn it on, and the light doesn't come on.
Yeah.
And you're like, so RJ he just sent out for wasp control.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know who is in charge of that around here, but it's not RJ apparently. And so I think Chris Wayne came sauntering in there, and the Wasp was nowhere to be found. So now RJ's sanity is being questioned at every turn right now. So I don't know. I don't know if we're going to get the Wasp straightened out or not, Tony. I just did get a mock sent to me, though, not by Eric Edholm, but another Eric whose last name starts with an E on the X platform. And he has almost my identical mock. I wonder if we're going to have some similarities today, because I don't think you got Lee Summers in your draft today, is my guess. The defensive tackle.
No.
Yeah, because he was, like, last week, he was available to me, and I opted not to take him, and you guys both took him. Now you're seeing him, like, at pick 25. 25 is the range. I don't know who has the 25th pick in the draft. You get my meaning, but he's being looked at as the last third of the first round guy, those final 10 picks. And I'm sure some of the guys we're taking today, like, I looked at them, and Eric, who sent this one in, said, man, he goes, I doubt any of these players are available at the spot I picked. And I'm like, I got your pick at 56 the same. I got your pick at 81 the same. The guy you took at 88, I actually took at 100. And the guy you took at 100, I thought about taking at 88. So very close. All right, let's to get on time here, let's take a quick timeout. RJ, you're going to have to enter the control room probably to send us the break, is my guess, unless it's some kind of like Avengers Endgame scenario where the Wasp lands just on the right button at the right time, and that 1 in 14 million chance that we have to get the break on time takes place. So we'll take a timeout, Tony. Let's unveil our 4 selections for the Jags when we return. 3 rounds of mocking on this mock draft Monday over at Pro Football Network. We'd love to see yours as well, so hit us up on social media with what you're able to get accomplished. You're listening to Jaguars Today on 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
Jaguars Today.
From the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors Studios of 1010XL. At 1010XL, radio is just the beginning.
Transmission begins.
The 1010XL Sports Network is now everywhere on your desktop, laptop, and phone. Find 1010XL at 1010XL.
Instant Keys is turning 25. A quarter century of saving the day when your keys mysteriously vanish.
Seriously, it was just in my pocket.
Or when that remote fob decides to quit working.
The dealership is such a hassle.
For 25 years, Instant Keys has been the go-to locksmith service for car keys, house keys, transponders, re-keys, and even high-tech smart locks. You don't have to go to the dealer. Instant Keys comes to you. For honest, professional locksmith service, use Instant Keys.
Jaguars Today.
It's a Dream Finders Homes Monday.
Make Capital Glass and Shower Doors your premier choice for top quality glass solutions. With over 40 years of expertise, their team specializes in commercial and residential projects. From elegant shower doors to modern frameless enclosures, they've got you covered. But that's not all. They also offer glass railing systems, glass wine cabinets, and much more. For unmatched quality and service, choose Capital Glass and Shower Doors. Your vision, their expertise. Visit online at capcoglass.com.
Get out of the city and into the woods and the water.
I keep on working it.
On the Nimnit Outdoors Show, Captain Kevin and Captain Kirk join Jeff Lageman.
I am shooting one today.
Get hooked Saturday morning from 7 to 10 on 1010XL.
If you're thinking about getting a new roof sometime this year, Endless Summer Roofing can help. I'm Claudia, owner of Endless Summer Roofing. Stronger materials, expert installation, real peace of mind. A new roof isn't just an upgrade. It's the primary source of protection for your family home. Visit EndlessSummerRoofing.com for a free inspection today, and I'll make sure you're ready for tomorrow. Endless Summer Roofing. Protecting your home from Florida's endless summers.
The Florida Forum welcomes world-renowned chef and humanitarian Jose Andres at the Center for Performing Arts March 31st. His impact spans the globe as founder of World Central Kitchen, Presidential Medal of Freedom recipient, and global leader using food as a force for change. All proceeds for the Florida Forum benefit the Women's Board of Wilson Children's Hospital, supporting a new outdoor play area for behavioral health services. Get your tickets now at thefloridaforum.com.
This is the kind of sandwich you don't rush. French dip at Firehouse Subs. Premium roast beef loaded with caramelized onions, melted provolone cheese, and topped with Italian seasoning. Stacked on a toasted garlic bread roll with hot au jus for dipping. For a limited time at Firehouse Subs.
The First Coast Games
is an annual team building challenge to introduce fun activities into the workplace and focus on your employees' health and wellness goals. These goals include some friendly competition, of course, including pickleball, cornhole, volleyball, flag football, and other team sports. The games will begin in March. Register your company and teams at fcymca.org.
Quality work is sometimes hard to come by these days, and if you want quality in a fence that'll last, make the call to Duval. Duval Fence, that is, a good Jacksonville company with good Jacksonville people committed to quality service. If you need a fence for your home or a business, anything, just call Duval Fence at 260-4747. Give them an idea of what you're looking for, and they'll take care of the rest. Property fence, privacy fence, pool or pets. Make sure you call Duval Fence today.
Attention Northeast Florida golfers. Save hundreds on golf at premier local courses and support youth development. The First Tee of North Florida Tour Card is your key to big savings and making a difference. For just $99, you'll unlock discounted golf and offers at top courses and local businesses all year long. Plus, every tour card purchase helps fund programs that build character, confidence, and life skills for kids in our community. Grab your tour card today at tourcard.org.
San Jose Collision in Mandarin is proud to be an I-CAR Gold Class collision repair facility. That means they meet the industry's highest training standards. Experience the difference at San Jose Collision in Mandarin.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When it's game time, Farah doesn't flinch.
1, 2, get down!
Jaguars Today on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
All right, Mock Draft Monday, and in its various forms. We'll go deeper than this at times. We did a 7-round mock last week for the Jags. But right now, we're going to, at least for this week, focus a little bit more towards the top of the draft. First 4 selections for the Jaguars, even at this point in time. I don't think 100 is the official number. That's the projected number of where that pick is going to be. But most people can get down with 56, 81, 88, 100, and remember what those 4 picks are. RJ, are you coming in here right now? Oh, that's awesome. Make sure your mic's turned on there, young man. I love it. Who's afraid of the little wasp?
Then you go in there and be with us. Let's switch seats.
I would, but I don't work in there, man. That's not my room. If there was a wasp in here,
can for the next hour.
I'd be holding it down.
Would you?
I don't know. No idea what I'd be doing. All right. RJ, you want to lead us off today? Pick 56. We did our mocks over at ProFootballNetwork.com. We did not have any trades this week among the 3 of us. They weren't prohibited this week, but no. We'll get a little crazier as we go forward. Who'd you take with your first selection for the Jags, RJ, and
hopefully
why?
I'm not butchering his name, but Keontae Scott, cornerback.
It's Scout.
No, I'm kidding. From Miami.
Okay.
I know. Scoot.
It's Candy.
Candy. Keontae Scott.
Man.
Keontae Scott, cornerback from Miami. 6 foot, 192 pounds. This past season, 13 tackles for loss, 5 sacks, 2 pick sixes. If we're really asking about that cornerback room and just needing some depth in that room because we don't know the future of one Monteric Brown, and you're probably saying we don't know yet in terms of whether or not Jarian Jones is going to be more outside or playing more of that slot. I think Keontae could be that guy in which you can develop and kind of see, where he is in terms of how you can utilize him in a room that needs some depth.
I think we all would agree that somewhere along the way they're going to draft at least one corner, I would think. And it depends on what's available, Tony, when they pick early compared to what their other needs are at the time and going through free agency. So I don't think that's a out of the left field selection right there. What about yourself? What'd you do at 56?
At 56, I went with linebacker Josiah Trotter out of Missouri, 6'2", 237, son of Jeremiah Trotter.
Had to be.
Declared for the NFL draft after his redshirt sophomore season at Mizzou this year. Box linebacker, great tackler, great instincts in the run game, good blitzer. The one thing that kind of the weakness in his game, the way that it's getting written up, is he's not great in space.
Okay.
So he's not a guy that you necessarily want to feature in coverage.
Okay.
But I think everything else about his game reads as plus level for Josiah Trotter. And obviously he's got the football heritage, so he's probably pretty comfortable doing it.
We didn't think Devin Lloyd would be any good in coverage based on watching him not necessarily be great in coverage for a long time. And then Anthony Campanelli's system put him in good positions, and he was fine. I also went linebacker here. I went Anthony Hill out of Texas, 6'3", 235, Big 12 Defensive Freshman of the Year. It was a 5-star recruit coming out of high school, all SEC, first team All-American, 8 sacks, an interception, 4 forced fumbles, a pass breakup along the way, and first team All-SEC in his final season there in 2025. And I like that, like Devin Lloyd's got a little juice, right? And that you're not going to make him. He's not your third pass rusher, but he can rush the passer, and that is something that Hill brings to the table as well. Coverage instincts can be hot and cold. Sounds like your guy, right? So I think these are similar type players right here.
And it makes sense in the second round of a draft where there's 3 or 4 linebackers that are getting hyped right now, right? So the guys that are getting into the second round is because there's that one thing that isn't quite at par with the other guys in the class. All right. So maybe it's pass coverage for both the guys we picked.
And I had Anthony Hill was PFF's number 40 overall player, so I felt like I was getting a pretty good value there at 56. All right, RJ, pick 81. Where'd you go?
I just like him. I want him on the Jacksonville Jaguars. So if I see his name, I'm taking him. Malachi Lawrence from UCF, the edge rusher. The redshirt sophomore season that he had in 2023, 7.5 sacks. 10 tackles for loss in that season, and then remained productive in 2024, 7 sacks, 11 tackles for loss, 6'4", 247, 33.5-inch arms. If we keep talking about individuals that need to be able to get to the passer along the outside, and for those to help out Josh Hines-Allen as well as Trayvon Walker, and I understand, BJ Green and Danny Strigow are also there as well. But I feel if you're looking for a guy that can possibly have the elite pass rushing ability, Malachi Lawrence may be the guy, but that, I could also be wrong about that in terms of him being immediate help when you have BJ Green and Strigow that they do believe in. But I do believe this guy fits the need in which Jacksonville needs along the rushing end on the defensive end for this team.
I had him in my mock last week. Did not this week, Tone. Who did you have at 81?
At 81, defensive tackle Grayson Halton out of Oklahoma, 6'2", 292, pure 3 technique type. That's what he is. He's an effort guy as well. At least the read up on him is that kind of thing. He can get moved around in the run game, which makes sense. 6'2", 292, a guy that's kind of the 3 technique type, as giving you some of the pressure that we're looking for on the inside. And it's a draft where I think you're going to have to pick very specifically a trait, right, that you want in a guy. If you're going to address the interior of the defensive line, I'm looking for more the pass rush guy. Grayson Halton seems to fit that kind of bill to me.
All right, I went with a defensive tackle as well, and I went with the guy I went with last week, but I felt much better about it this week because instead of taking him at 56, I got him at 81, and that's Darrell Jackson, the defensive tackle out of Florida State, late addition to the Senior Bowl squads. We talked about him a good bit last week. And again, not a perfect prospect there, but I think particularly if you're getting him in the third round, I think he's a good value player. And this team needs more than just one, probably, at least put it this way. Even if you get the 3 technique, what's the long-term, future for Devon Hamilton in Jacksonville? I think you need more behind him as well. So we'll see how that all plays out. But I think we're thinking the same way here. Linebacker, defensive tackle for you and I with our first 2. RJ, who do you have at 88?
Dominique Orange, defensive tackle out of Iowa State. They like calling him Big Citrus. I say that he's the big playmaker, as Pro Football Network talks about how he can free up players to make plays. And he can also have playmaking value of his own, and he's almost immovable along the line of scrimmage. And that's something that I think that Jacksonville needs when we talk about the future of guys, like Devon Hamilton. If you need those guys that can also make room for themselves as well as others along that line, I think that's a serious need. We've been talking about it all off season. I think Dominique Orange can fit that bill.
The Big Citrus. Tony, 88.
88, given what I've already seen in the responses this morning and the way that how often his name is coming up, I think this is a name that we're just going to say we're all kind of circling around in the third round. by the time we get around to that's Derek Moore. The edge out of Michigan, 6'3", 254, two-time first-team All-Big Ten. Great first step. Right up on him, reads as a motor guy. He's the third edge, right? And in a draft where I don't think they're going to have available to him anyone that's going to push the top of their depth chart, but can be the third edge from the day that he walks into the building. That's, again, I think you're going to have to pick a trait that you're looking for. You know, when you're talking along, interior defensive line or on the edge, you're looking for one thing that they can add to your team. Derek Moore seems to fit that kind of bill as the third guy in the rotation.
I like Derek Moore. I feel like Tony took him about 12 spots too early, though. Let's continue on and see what we were able to do here with this mock. This is where I went a little bit crazy here, maybe a bit of a luxury pick. Let's presume we lose Travis Etienne, okay? And now you've got Basil Tootin at the top of your depth chart. All that is fine. No problem for me supplementing with a draft pick. Will it come this early? I'm not sure, but Jadarian Price out of Notre Dame is, by many accounts, some people think he's the second best back in this draft and would be thought of a lot more highly if Jeremiah Love hadn't kind of blocked his progress in school. And, you see that happen sometimes. So he's a home run hitter. He's got the long speed, and that separated him from a guy like Jonah Coleman, who might be able to handle a bigger workload. I think this team loves speed. They want that in their backs. He's a fluid guy. He's never been a volume receiver, but I feel like if you're an athlete, you can catch the simple stuff. You don't need to be Christian McCaffrey or Bijan Robinson out there breaking ankles, running routes. And also, they talk about him being actionable as a pass protector. All right, we're in draft season, man. But anyway, I went with Price to inject a little more juice into the one offensive position that has got the biggest question mark to me on it heading into the offseason. Final selection, RJ, for you at 100.
I went running back as well. Roman Hemby out of Indiana. 100 career catches, 3 drops. I understand that they're probably looking for a guy that can do a lot of what ETN did. If you can get that in a younger version, I think you find yourself in a good spot. He can be a great rotational back or a pass game specialist. And I think with the running backs, that's what Liam Cohen wants. He wants guys who can also catch out of the backfield as well as hand the ball off to. Roman Hemby, for me, I think is a damn good player coming out of Indiana and could ultimately be your backup back if, Basil Tutin's going to be in the first string with Trevor Lawrence and those guys.
At 100 for me, I also went running back Damon Claiborne out of Wake Forest. 5'10".
Look at us all going running back.
I know. 5'10", 195. The size dictates how he should be used, right? And obviously some of the metrics that we're talking about with him are not going to be a surprise. He's fast. He's quick in space. Those kind of things. So you'd have to have a plan for, we want to use him. We see him as this, right? Like a guy that we're just going to get in space and see what happens with him is the type of player that a Damon Claiborne would be. But it makes some sense to me. I don't think there's one running back that I would circle and be like,
it wasn't that. It was like, I know, like, Price is one of the guys I'm most familiar with, and I really started getting into their strengths and weaknesses of their traits.
And it was, when I was on the board at that point, it had a bunch of names, and I was like, I don't like any of these, right? Like, it was just like, I don't like any of this. So I kept going down the list and looking at him. I was like, Claiborne was the first one that I read anything about and went, oh, I can see that.
Okay.
So that's where I wound up going
and
at
I
100.
took your guy Derek Moore at 100 as foreshadowed right there, the edge rusher. So I ended up linebacker, defensive tackle, running back, edge. You went linebacker, defensive tackle, edge, running back. It's the exact same 4 positions. I'm not saying that they're necessarily today the 4 biggest positions of need, but trying to match up need with some value in that range. Go check it out over at ProFootballNetwork.com, free mock draft simulator, and we'll rip through some of the 4-pick, 3-round Jaguar mocks that people have sent in a little bit later on. As we get into hour number 2, Tony, which are the positions that you feel most comfortable about filling at an adequate level going into the offseason? ESPN ranked them all. So let's take a look and see how that pertains to your Jacksonville Jaguars. This is Jaguars Today on 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
Jaguars Today from the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors Studios.
Why doesn't the hero reveal himself and tell us all your real name?
My name is 1010XL.
You do have a name.
My name is 1010XL.
Get a healthy start in 2026. The Florida Department of Health in Duval County is here to help you get healthy and stay healthy all year long. Our dedicated team is committed to providing high-quality care and trusted public health services for our community. Our mission is simple: to protect, promote, and improve the health of you and your family. Learn more about our programs and services by visiting duval.floridahealth.gov.
Dreamfinders Homes, Monday
on Jaguars Today.
It's time to upgrade your ride and trade in your Tesla for luxury with a brand new Cadillac EV.
At Randy Marion Cadillac on Southside Boulevard, Jacksonville, we have over 30 Cadillac EVs to choose from.
Feel the power of instant torque and enjoy the range that takes you farther.
You love your Tesla, but it's time to elevate your ride.
Trade in your Tesla today at Randy Marion Cadillac in Jacksonville. Randy Marion Cadillac of Jacksonville.com.
You pick the color and drive away today.
And don't forget, tell them Jennifer sent ya.
Frank Frangie here for Coil Fencing. Since 1927, Jacksonville has trusted Coil Fencing to protect what matters. And I trust them too. From tough chain link to your commercial project to sleek aluminum fencing your HOA will love, Coil does it all. Did you know that Coil can also install, service, and maintain those automatic gates that help protect your neighborhood or business? To schedule a complimentary consultation, visit CoilJacks.com. That's COYLE Jacks.com. Coil Fencing, A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
The flagship station of the Jacksonville Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
The Players' Championship returns to TPC Sawgrass March 10th through 15th. Experience golf's most iconic stage with enhanced food and beverage offerings, interactive fan attractions, and an atmosphere built for every type of fan. See the best players in the world, including world #1 Scotty Scheffler, 2025 champion Rory McIlroy, and fan favorite Brooks Koepka take on the legendary Stadium Course and the famous Island Green. Tickets available at theplayers.com.
Living on Amelia Island, having fun in Fernandina Beach? No matter what brings you to the fun, cozy town, make sure you check out the tap room at Mocama Beer Company. With a full flight of craft creations, from the Cosmico IPA to the Motor, the perfect Pilsners and lagers, matching memories and some Mocama magic is what it's all about. Mocama Beer Company in Fernandina Beach, near the big water where the sun is born. And look for more Mocama craft at your local Total Wine or ABC Liquors.
Jacksonville, it's official. Men's professional soccer is back with the USL Championship. Your Sporting Jacks Pro Soccer Club kicks off its historic first men's season on March 7th, bringing fast, physical, world-class soccer back to the First Coast. This is more than a new pro sports team. It's world-class soccer played on a national and international stage. Be there from the very beginning. Season tickets with seats starting at just $10 per match. On sale now at sportingjacks.com. Sporting Jacks. Pro Soccer, Pro Jacks.
Bueller, stay cooler with Bueller.
I'm starting to realize being a homeowner isn't all upside, Jason.
I mean, it does give you a place to live.
Yeah, but now suddenly I need to know the names of all the people I need to look after my house.
Like who?
Like if my air conditioner breaks in the middle of the heat wave, I need to know who I call to fix it.
That's me. You know me.
But what if my water heater dies or my toilet backs up?
That would also be me. Bueller Air and Plumbing.
Okay, fine, but what about my duct cleaning and my water filtration and my sewer drain? Where am I going to find all those guys if something goes wrong? I'm just a guy with a house and a dream and...
This pair of sunglasses.
Whoa.
Bueller Air and Plumbing is the only name you need to know. Our club members even get 2 free visits a year, so you know we're there when you need us.
Well, that's cool.
Stay cooler with Bueller.
Visit BuellerAir.com.
Here's your 1010XL local sports update, sponsored by Zero Res. Short-handed and on a back-to-back, the Orlando Magic out-toughed the Clippers 111-109 behind 36 from Desmond Bane, surviving a Kawhi Leonard 37-point night. Florida b-ball momentum continues with ESPN's College Game Day returning to Gainesville for the anticipated sold-out clash against number 20 Arkansas on February 28th. That's your 1010XL local sports update. I'm Sam Nelson.
45 degrees at 11:04. Time and 10 brought to you by Bueller Air and Plumbing. Stay cooler with Bueller.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Focused, fueled, fearless, Farah. Everything you need to know about the Jags. Jaguars Today on 1010XL.
All right, hour 2 of Jaguars Today. Good morning to all. Glad you're along with us. Mike Dempsey, Tony Smith, RJ Saunders here with you. It is a mock draft Monday. We just gave you our selections, only mocking 3 rounds, 4 picks for the Jags today. And again, this exercise is not about getting locked in on a name. It's not even getting locked in on positions, more just like the conversation is fluid. What do we feel with the positions that most appeal to the Jags right now? What are the ones that are likely to be the same come the draft? We don't know. We got to see what free agency brings this team, Tony, which is why the piece over at ESPN I think is very interesting. It actually was put out at the end of last week by Ben Solak, and he ranks the positions that if you need this, you're in good shape if you're high on the list this offseason.
11 positions in the league.
Right, including free agency and the draft combined, and he determines that the deepest position, the position you're going to be able to get the most help at in the most different avenues and the most high quality help is edge rush, which is good. Who doesn't need it, right? You always need edge rush, right? You're always going to look to add a guy, but for the Jags, I think it's very plausible that one of their first 4 picks goes to that position. Could be the 56th pick in the draft. I could even see them under the right circumstances trading up for the right guy if they've got a plan for how to use him. But that seems like a spot that just has to be addressed by this football team.
Well, even better in the write-up about it that, they have the subcategory of the good year to need, bad year to need, right? And the good year to need is any sort of edge rusher at all. Bad year to need a truly elite dude. Well, the Jaguars feel like they probably have that.
Or at least they have their top guys.
Right.
They're
like
not necessarily like you and I would take Max Crosby.
Yeah.
And I think he would be arguably
anybody in the
best
league,
pass rusher on this
that wouldn't
team.
take Max Crosby is out of their mind, right? But the Jags obviously would maybe consider something like that. We've talked about that kind of thing. But they also talk about that being the bad year to need it because Max Crosby is the list.
Yeah,
right?
and you can argue Trey Hendrickson, though.
Right, like even potentially available guys. Like the list is so small in that regard. And I do think the Jaguars go into an offseason where, I think they're going to address edge, but it's, as I talked about in the mock draft a moment ago, third guy. Right? Like I think that's what the Jaguars are in the market for. Third guy, better than what they've had for the last several years. A better complementary piece to what they already have at the position is, I think, the market that they're in this offseason, and they're going into it in an offseason where there's a bunch of guys who fit that bill specifically if you're not looking for the top end of the market.
They go on to say, look, the variety you get here, you got speed guys, you've got power guys who are also good in the run game, you've got injured, aging veterans who may bounce back, and maybe you get them at somewhat of a discount. You've got traits guys who people are getting, all these measurables, we should be able to get some pass rush out. So if you've got the coaching staff that thinks they can do that, you can go in a lot of different directions here and get help at that position. That's great. They're not all that way. Next position that is deep out there, and you wonder, again, if this jibes with what James Gladstone and company feel about the availability. And this is not just, draft. This is pro personnel as well. But when you look ahead and you say, all right, Don, I'm going to sign Cole Van Lannon. You can say, well, maybe you could see what is available next year in the draft. Well, the number 2 position for ESPN or Ben Solak in this ranking is offensive line, but it's interior offensive line. Good year to need a guard. Bad year to need a really big center. So we don't necessarily need a center at all. By the way, you saw I'm sure over the weekend, they're talking about Tyler Linderbaum. What was it? Daniel Jeremiah said, if I could be anybody for the next couple months, I'd be Tyler Linderbaum's agent because every team thinks they're going to get this guy or covets this guy. Guard. Is guard a big need for this football team?
Not big.
I don't think it is.
No.
And it's look, if Walker Little goes, that's one less option that can play inside. But if you've got, let's say you had Ezra and Wyatt Milam and McCary and Chuma Adoga as your top 4 guards. Is that tragic? I don't think it is. I mean, I do think they need to be a more physical road grading presence late in the season than they were this year and be able to run when the other team knows that you want to run and still be effective and execute. But I think they might get some of that out of Wyatt Milam, if he stays healthy throughout the offseason. So good year to need a guard. Next one, number 3 on the list, and then we'll take a timeout and come back and continue this here. Cornerback. Good year to need a slot corner.
Don't need those.
We don't need a slot corner. No. It's a bad year to need an outside corner with size. I do find it interesting as we do this mock draft process, right? And we learn more about guys. I told you, listener Eric sent in his mock with his 4 players, and 3 of them were the same as mine. And where I took Price at running back, I consider Devin Moore the corner from Florida. And there are some tall, rangy corners in there, Tone. And I find myself, like, I look at, okay, this guy excels in man, this guy excels in zone. Well, we play a lot of zone. Well, Anthony Campanile might not be here after this year, right? I want a guy who can succeed no matter what the style of defense he's being asked to play, or at least has a reasonable chance to do that. I do find, at least in this process so far, as I get into that 3rd round, there are a lot of interesting players there that do have size and length, but, maybe they're not as highly regarded for other reasons, but that was number 3 on the positional ranking. Again, corner, good year to need a slot. Bad to need an outside corner with size. Well, who doesn't want an outside corner with size?
Right. Like, that's
and that's your 3rd best position.
That's the position that you're printing it out at. And you mentioned Devin Moore, who was also, when I was going through the mock, I considered him too.
Yep.
Right. With one of those 3rd round picks. The injury history is what kind of got me off of him.
Sure.
Right. But I do think he's a talented enough guy that's around where he's going to wind up going, is somewhere around the 3rd round. And look, if you're looking for somebody at that point that will be able to play outside for you, I don't know that there's a lot of guys who fit that bill more than Moore will. When everything is sent, like, I don't know.
In the draft. Yeah.
So if that is the direction they're going to go, what it feels like to me is last year we spent all that time talking about interior defensive line and how big of a necessity it was. And then you got to draft time, it was just like they just didn't like it.
They punted. Yeah.
Right? Like they just chose
the value
not to.
Wasn't there.
I wouldn't be surprised, given the kind of bodies that you hear about being at corner in this year's draft, if we spend all this time talking about corner being a possibility and they go through it and basically don't address it.
Could be. We'll see. I mean, they did re-sign a couple of guys, including Christian Pratt as well. So they've got some depth, but you're missing what you feel is maybe one other top outside guy opposite what we presume will be Travis Hunter in terms of free agency. Because, again, this is a combined ranking of free agency in the draft. Some of the outside-only guys they list are Tariq Woolen of the Seahawks, who had some bonehead moments in the postseason, but is generally considered a good player. Jalen Watson of the Chiefs. Jamel Dean of the Bucks. You always wonder, the guy was on the team that your head coach used to formerly coach, even though not on the, the defensive side. I'm sure he saw plenty of Jamel Dean in Buccaneer practices. Alante Taylor of the Saints can play both, but they feel he's more of a slot guy. And then they list Greg Newsome as well. So, if you don't get one of those top 3 or 4 and you're on to Greg Newsome, how strongly do you feel about bringing Greg Newsome back? Probably not that strongly, I'm guessing, based on the way he played last year. So, again, according to Ben Solak of ESPN, your best positions to fill this offseason are edge rusher, interior offensive line, and cornerback. As we get a little bit deeper, how do those positions shake out? We'll get into that straight ahead on Jaguars Today. Tony Smith, RJ Saunders, and Mike Dempsey on 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
Jaguars Today from the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors Studios of 1010XL. You know Dan Hickett.
Shouldn't you be out signing autographs somewhere or something?
And you know Jeff Prosser.
I wanted to be a magician.
They are The Drill.
Exactly. You know it.
Mornings on 1010XL.
Everyone can eat grits. A big bag of grits.
Create a backyard your family will love. Jack's Outdoor Solutions, an authorized dealer of Celebrity Greens, installs PGA quality artificial turf golf greens and complete outdoor spaces. From turf to custom hardscapes, landscaping, and lighting, every project is built for style, durability, and family fun. Locally owned and trusted across Northeast Florida, customers rave about their results. Check their 5-star reviews on Google. Plan your dream backyard today at jacksoutdoorsolutions.com.
Jaguars Today Monday is built by Dream Finders Homes.
Official home builder of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Ace Carline here for Atlantic Infinity, and yes, I'm still loving my new QX60. Right now, you can lease one or lock in just 1.9% financing for 60 months, and every new Infinity comes with the Atlantic Infinity Promise. That's over $7,000 in added value. That's one of many reasons why I bought mine there. No pressure, no games, just a great experience. Make your next ride an Infinity from Atlantic Infinity. Visit AtlanticInfinity.com or the showroom near Atlantic and St. John's Bluff.
The riders who face Daytona Supercross are built different. Withstanding the most unforgiving and grueling track is not just a point of pride, but of pure grit and determination. This battle can only be felt in person. Witness the action unfold at the only place in Florida where the biggest names will battle it out under the lights. Daytona Supercross is built different. It's built for champions. It's built for fans. The gate drops Saturday, February 28th. There's only one place to be. Secure your tickets and trackside access at DaytonaInternationalSpeedway.com.
If you can't wait for kickoff, tip-off, or the first pitch, get your Gator fix anytime with a Gator podcast channel. Exclusive Florida Gator content from 1010XL. Set up by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists on the video and social channels of 1010XL.
Nate Bargatze. It's a lot to have two dogs because you got to open the back door and let two dogs out.
Big Dumb Eyes World Tour. 5-star Veterans Memorial Arena. February 26th. Tickets available at Ticketmaster.com.
New year, new club. This is Joe C., and I'm proud to be a member of Southampton. And with the popularity of golf, getting a tee time is tough. But with membership comes member privileges. Enjoy clubhouse dining, expanded practice area, focusing on all parts of your game. And right now, you can join with an annual commitment and get a $1,000 discount, plus $500 of Pro Shop credit. All the details are online at golfsouthampton.com or call 287-PLAY and make a tee time today at the Golf Club of Southampton.
Ticket here for Action Garage Door. Nothing more frustrating than your garage door misfiring. When it does, I call Action Garage Door. They take action. Jeff and Art and crew, Jacksonville folks, not some big out-of-town chain. Something goes wrong with your garage door, take action. Check them out, Garage Door 911, GarageDoor911.com.
When it's game time, make feeding the crowd easy. Chicken Salad Chick serves fresh Southern-style chicken salad, flavorful sides, and crowd-favorite catering trays. Order ahead at chickcatering.com or visit one of 4 area locations today.
Hacker here. We're rolling towards March, and for most people, that just means better weather and more golf. For me, 2 years ago, this time of year was a life changer. Honestly, it felt like a lifesaver. That's when I started Awaken 180, and in 1 month, I was down 35 pounds. 2 months, 50 pounds. And no, it wasn't magic. It wasn't some miracle shot. I tried the meds. I tried the cutting carbs. I tried convincing myself I was fine. None of it stuck. Awaken 180 wasn't a trick. It was a solution, a real plan, a coach who didn't let me drift, and the weight just melted off. That's the only way I can describe it. And here's the best part that matters. It stayed off. I'm not bracing for it to come back. I've kept my 122 pounds off for well over a year, and it stayed gone. Have 35 to lose? Cakewalk. 50? Simple. If March for you is just another month, fine. But it could be your turning point. It was mine. Awaken. 180weightloss.com.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Still, present, ready. Farah doesn't flinch. Jaguars Today on 1010XL.
All right, we continue along Mock Draft Monday here on Jaguars Today, building the baseline for the off-season for your Jacksonville Jaguars. A couple weeks from now, we'll be out at the Players' Championship, getting ready for all the great golf that is to follow, Tony. I welcomed in summer last week.
Yeah.
And I think I had to welcome in winter again last night. So
yeah, Saturday and Sunday were in the
gorgeous.
80s.
Oh,
yeah.
It's gorgeous, right? And then the cold snap came again, but it is beautiful out right now in these parts. So, all right, let us look towards the continuation of what we're discussing just a few moments ago. Ben Solak over at ESPN ranking the positions that basically in the order of it's good to need this as opposed to the other thing. All right, edge rusher, the most abundant position, factoring in free agency in the draft, interior offensive line, and corner. Running back is next. Good year to need a starting back for right now. Bad year to need a young back to start for the next 4 years. That's because there are a number of options in free agency that you could plug in and feel pretty good at. But these guys will all be going into at least their second contracts. Saw Javonte Williams get 3 years, $24 million. Do you think Travis Etienne gets more than 3 years, $24 million?
Probably, but not much more.
Yeah. So is 3 years, $24 million a palatable contract for the Jaguars to figure out a way to make work here to bring him back?
I think from a Jaguars perspective, that would be palatable. Again, I am very much in the 1 year camp on the ETN thing. Like, I would like to see a 1 year deal get done.
And I only think the way a 1 year deal gets done is this: we talked about if it's the tag, the transition tag.
If it's the and I would love for them to figure out a way to do that. It's not that I have a big issue with committing to ETN for the next 3 years, but 3 years with a running back makes me nervous. It just does, right? But the money's not going to be so crazy that you can't.
I don't worry about the 3 years because usually those 3 year deals are 2 year deals that you can get out of in that third year, and you can lower that cap figure. It's not going to be $8 million each year evenly. It'd probably be like $4 million in year one. But anyway, I just thought that was interesting. I think Javonte Williams might be a little bit better between the tackles, and this is more anecdotal. I don't have any advanced metrics. I'm just, in my mind's eye, he's a little bit more rugged, but I don't think he's nearly as explosive as Etienne, and I think Etienne's a better receiver as well. So I think they both have their pluses and minuses. Dallas knows how well he fits in their offense because he did fit well for them. So that's one less question mark that they're going to have. If he goes somewhere else, what are we going to do? But anyway, running back, it's not a great year to find the long-term starter in the draft, but it's interesting that we took running backs in our mocks because I don't know if you look at Bajal Tootin and go, this guy is a 285 carry guy plus catching another 40 balls. I don't know. Maybe he will be. But, and in today's NFL, do you really need that? So, Red, this is a good point. Everyone, Kenneth Walker, when Zach Charbonnet went down, it worked out well because they had split a lot of reps, and then Charbonnet goes out, and Kenneth Walker then takes on all the workload, and he wins Super Bowl MVP. George Holani played 33% of the running back snaps in the Super Bowl. So the percentage didn't shift that much. It was just the guy they were bringing in was nowhere near as close in talent to Kenneth Walker as Zach Charbonnet had been. Anyway, just neither here nor there. All right, moving on. Next position, safety. It's a good year to need a deep safety. It's a bad year to need a box safety. Well, that's fine. I feel like box safety is not super high on everybody's list. Anyway, more teams are looking for the deep center fielder, the game changer in the deep passing game. The Jags potentially have an abundance at safety, Tone. If Antonio Johnson continues the upward trajectory he played on, Eric Murray's back to start for another year. If Caleb Ransaw is healthy, that's one of the biggest question marks of the offseason. What do they know about Caleb Ransaw's health and when he'll be available to them that we don't know? Because I'm sure there's something to what that is. But where do you put safety among the Jaguars' needs right now?
Pretty low.
I think it's low, too, unless they know something about, like, if they're like, we're not sure about Ransaw, it's a complete open question mark, then I think it bumps up maybe significantly for this team. But I'm with you. As of right now, I don't think it's one of their top needs. Linebackers right in the middle at 6. Good year to need a difference maker, but it's bad year to need a difference maker and not have a top 10 pick. Well, okay, then. I mean, so they got 3 linebackers that they feel are top 10 worthy, but one of them is Devin Lloyd, is how they described it, right? You got 3 huge names. 2, you got Sonny Styles and Arvell Reese from Ohio State, and then you've got Devin Lloyd from the Jags. And Solak says, I'll start with a dash of cold water. Lloyd's probably not a top 5 linebacker in football. I say he's more linebacker 10 or 12. That's still pretty damn good. But he's almost certainly about to get paid like it. Last year, it was an enormous offseason for linebacker contracts. 4 of the 6 biggest deals currently in the market were signed by Fred Warner, Zach Bond, Jamie Sherwood, Nick Bolton. Those are somewhat different types of linebackers as well. And none of those guys is just the pure edge rusher. Like Zach Bond's known for his coverage. He'll blitz as well. Jamie Sherwood, Nick Bolton, these are young guys who can do a little bit of everything. Fred Warner is, again, across the board good, but he's not a guy that you're lining up and walking up to the edge on third down and expecting him to get double-digit sacks. So it's not like you've got those guys in there. So here's the thing, okay, do we need a linebacker or not if we have Devin Lloyd back? Well, right now you don't have Devin Lloyd back. Right? I mean, his contract's going to expire. He'll be a free agent as it's trending. We've all been spending some of that draft capital on the linebacker position. And maybe we're getting lulled into it, Tone, because I feel like at 56 and 81, there are some interesting linebacker names that keep popping up that I wouldn't mind having on this roster. But then again, are we getting Gray Zabled with the draft stock watch right now where we're convincing ourselves that better players are going to be available in the late second into the third that are actually going to be there?
Yeah, maybe. It is notable, at least, that every draft person we have on and we ask about, where's the depth in this draft, the linebacker comes up. Like virtually everyone when you ask where's the draft deep linebacker, right? Like that's just a spot where it seems to be deep in this year's draft. So from that perspective, maybe it makes it even more likely that they don't figure out something with Devin Lloyd. As much as I like Devin, right? But he's gonna get paid what he's gonna get paid, right? And it's gonna be the market's gonna determine a lot of that because of the guys that you just went through when talking about the ESPN article. It's they got what they got, and now it's Devin Lloyd's turn, right? So are you gonna be the team that goes, look, we like you, Devin, but we only like you for 14, right?
He's suggesting here, by the way, 16 is the number for Devin Lloyd. Like
that's the number kind of in my head.
And here's if you can comfortably pay Devin Lloyd 14 and he'd sign with you for 16. I'm sorry, you got to figure out a way to make that happen. That is not, in NFL terms, that is not a big enough gap. That's less than 1% of your cap is really what it boils down to with a $305 million projection.
Right, like if you're actually in that range.
That's what I'm saying.
Right, like I don't know if the Jaguars' range is actually we're comfortable at 12.
Maybe it is. Right, I'm just saying if it does come down to that, and we may never know.
We'll never know.
Right.
Yeah.
Close that gap.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Last positions on the list in order of descending availability or talent or quality. Offensive tackles at 7. Good year to need a starter for this year. Or I'm sorry, for 2027. Bad year to need a starter for 2026. Well, you wonder, is that in part why the Jags said, let's go get Cole Van Lannon done now, and at least we have our starting tackles ready for next season. Number 8, wide receiver. This is interesting. Good year to need bodies in the bullpen. Bad year to need the next elite guy. You keep hearing 10, 11, 12 wide receivers in the first couple rounds, but how many of them are gravitational game changers, right? And if the Jags feel the same way about the class, like you got some guys that are pretty good, maybe that makes them less inclined to listen to Brian Thomas Jr. trade offers should they come their way. Something to think about. All right, and then let's see.
If they're looking to trade Brian Thomas Jr. and replace him immediately.
Well, and I'm not even saying they're looking to replace him. I'm saying if someone comes knocking and then you have to balance it out with what are we going to get to replace him, what are our expectations for him, and so on. Tight end at 9. Good year to need undersized tight ends. Bad year to need any significant blocking ability. Yikes. That's what I think the Jags look for in those backup tight ends. At 10, good year at defensive tackle to need John Franklin Myers. Bad year to need an impact defensive tackle on third down. So if you get John Franklin Myers in free agency, good for you. Otherwise, kiss my toe, I guess. And then finally, quarterbacks at the bottom. Well, fortunately, we're not in that market. Good year to need Fernando Mendoza, bad year to need anyone else. So, and I guess that's only good if you're the Raiders because you're the only ones who are going to have a shot at drafting him. We'll return. Tony will take us around the National Football League, what went down over the weekend. We'll catch you up as we continue along Jaguars today on 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
Jaguars today for the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors Studios, where electrifying moments come to life.
Inside of a minute to play.
And legendary performances live.
A monumental milestone in a legendary career.
1010XL, the power of Jacksonville Sports Radio.
This is Jeff Middlecoff with Cogent Bank. My associate Ryan Salem and I joined Cogent Bank because we wanted to revolutionize the mortgage business, just like Cogent Bank has revolutionized the banking business. So Ryan Salem and I are able to leverage the power and stability of Cogent Bank to go out and find our clients the best investors, the best products, and the best rates in the entire country for your particular mortgage loan. Of course, you don't have to be a customer at Cogent Bank to take advantage of our mortgage services to buy or refinance your home. We offer jumbo loans, VA, FHA, conventional, and investment loans. At Cogent Bank, we offer mortgages nationwide, so we can help you with a second home or help a family member who lives or is moving to another state. Call Ryan Salem or myself, Jeff Middlecoff, at Cogent Bank today, 904-442-9191, to see how we can help you with any of your mortgage loan needs, whatever or wherever they may be.
Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender, Cogent Bank, NMLS ID 402296, Ryan Salem, NMLS ID 1182429, Jeff Middlecoff, NMLS ID 249086.
Dream Finders Homes Monday on Jaguars Today.
Hey Jacksonville, David Garrard here. If you want a street legal golf cart that's built with quality and style, check out Dynamic Drives and Designs in Jacks Beach. They have new, used, and fully customized carts from the top brands like Atlas, Dodge, and Pilot Car. Every cart gets a complete expert inspection, so you know it's ready to hit the road. Their team can help you design the perfect custom cart that fits your style and needs. For your custom golf cart, visit DynamicDrivesDesign.com today and see your perfect ride.
When you need a mechanic you can trust, call Sam, Harry, or Joe at AA Automotive on Richard Street. From oil changes to complex engine repairs, AA Automotive promises expert service and honest pricing from a local family biz. AA Automotive on Richard Street.
Whether you're undertaking a major home renovation or just a simple repair request, American Electrical is your 5-star Jacksonville-based electrician to get the work done right. Experienced design building department working seamlessly with their electrical contracting department to help you create beautiful lighting spaces and electrical plans that make your house flow. And remember, with American Electrical, it's wired right at a fair price. Call American Electric at 737-7770. Look for that red, white, and blue eagle on the side of their truck, and you'll know it's American Electrical.
Hi, I'm Laura Renstrom from The Players, and we're proud to support the Boys and Girls Club on their mission to equip Northeast Florida youth with the skills and tools they need to reach their full potential. 15 days till The Players.
It's Cancer Prevention Month, and Ackerman Urology reminds you to stay ahead of prostate, bladder, and kidney health. Get a yearly checkup, ask about a screening, and make self-checks a habit. To make an appointment at one of 4 locations, visit AckermanUrology.com.
Attention men and women. If you'd like to get your hair back, then you need to listen to some of our clients. John in Orange Park.
IHRS showed me what was causing my hair loss and helped stop it.
Call IHRS now at 904-777-IHRS. Find out how to grow your hair back with a free hair and scalp examination. Mike from Bay Meadows.
I finally found the most experienced company who could restore my hair. Now I have hair where I had none before.
Results guaranteed. Diane from Ponte Vedra.
Now I have what lotions couldn't give me. Thick, beautiful hair.
Find out why you're losing your hair and how to grow your hair back. Call 904-777-IHRS for a limited time free hair and scalp examination.
Now my hair will grow for the rest of my life. Thanks, IHRS.
Thank you, IHRS.
Thanks, IHRS, for giving me my hair back.
Hurry and receive a free hair and scalp examination and get 2 weeks of laser treatments for free. Call IHRS at 904-777-IHRS. That's 904-777-4477. Hairforme.com.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When it's game time, Farah doesn't flinch. Now, the Monahan's golden moment. Monahan Jewelers in Atlantic Beach, your local family jewelers.
Well, depends on your perspective on the golden moment. If you're the Wasp, it's probably probably wasn't the golden moment right there as Max just came in here with a shoe. So kind of moccasin he had on, Tony.
Yeah, it's pretty clear to me that that little guy just wanted a little bit of the heat coming off the window.
Just trying to get outdoors, man.
Right? Like
I just want to live and breathe free.
That's all he's trying to do. He's crawling around a little bit, comes out of his little cage, and this building just says it's time for murder.
Yeah.
Right from the Wasp perspective, but we saw it's been taken care of.
You're a Wasp. You may be privy to instant death at any given time. I wouldn't be smacking a shoe against the window though. Like that wouldn't be me doing that because you break that window, your arm goes through there. You got severed something going on. RJ, you feel better though?
Max? Yeah, I can't work under these conditions.
Is that right?
Can't do it.
Apparently not. But you feel better now that the Wasp is dead? The conditions improved for you?
For now, I feel like, he's going to be telling his friends, like, hey.
Oh, yeah. His friends marked you, man. Because he was living fine. Not going to go after Max, right? They're coming back for the control room. Okay? They know what time of day this all took place, so I'd watch your back for the rest of the week.
And they want to tell me, oh, it was gone. It was gone. It's gone. It's probably flew somewhere else. No, it didn't.
All right.
It's a shame you can't just open the window.
Yeah, well, the windows don't open.
I know.
Right, there's that. But also a shame that you can't just go, oh, look, there's a wasp up on the window and just ignore it. There's that as well.
Now, which one, which is which? Is the wasp one that just is like, hey, listen, as long as you're not bothering me, I'm not bothering you? Or I thought it was the hornets hornets or wasps that say, like, hey, man, I'll come kill you regardless.
I don't feel like I've ever been messed with by a hornet that I wasn't messing around his space.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like I've never had that happen. But
snakes don't seek you out.
I don't know, man.
Right? Like you get in the snake's territory, they let you know you got in their territory.
Maybe it's that Axe body spray.
But a snake's not slithering in here. That's what I'm saying.
I don't know. You got that Axe body spray. The wasp might have. Smells good in here. Came following you in. I don't know.
No, it was in here since yesterday.
Was it?
It wasn't me.
Well, maybe it was lingering from Friday. I don't know what to tell you, bro. All right. Why don't we go around the National Football League and find out what happened over the weekend?
Now, Gems Around the NFL, brought to you by Beach's Jewelry and Pawn in Jax Beach.
Dallas and running back Javonte Williams have agreed to a 3-year, $24 million deal, which includes $16 million in guaranteed money. Dallas's waived linebacker Logan Wilson, which saved him about $6.5 million on their salary cap. Indiana quarterback Fernando Mendoza, the Heisman Trophy winner and national champion, who is expected to be the first overall pick in the NFL draft, said over the weekend that he will not be throwing at the NFL Combine this week, but will throw at his pro day later here in the offseason. And Rondale Moore was found dead in the garage of a property in Indiana on Saturday from what is suspected to be a self-inflicted gunshot wound. Moore's death is still under investigation.
Yikes. I didn't see who it was. Yeah, it's a shame, man. I mean, wish the best for all the folks he left behind and, in dealing with it. If it in fact is the case, which it seems to be. All the reporting kind of danced around it this weekend, but now that seems to be where we're at. You mentioned Logan Wilson got released. I can't remember too many guys who were really super productive players that have fallen off more quickly than Logan Wilson in the last couple of years. Like this guy, Tony, was all right, listen to what I'm saying. Foye Oluokun light. Okay, I said light, right? The LITE version of Foye Oluokun, right? Like guy who would be 100-plus tackle guy, get you a sack or two, nothing crazy, get the occasional turnover play, but, just a solid around-the-ball linebacker. Jermaine Pratt took a lot of his shine away when he came to Cincinnati, and then he was basically dumped on the Dallas Cowboys last year, and he couldn't beat out Kenneth Murray, who Cowboy fans will tell you they've been frustrated with for a little while, and he's been a frustrating player in his NFL career. So, Logan Wilson's only 29 years old. He's not ancient by any means, and again, he's not adding a ton of juice, but he's like the kind of guy that if Logan Wilson was your fourth linebacker, you'd be like, oh, that's fine. Mm-hmm. Well, apparently the Cowboys didn't feel the same way. So it just Look, I'm not breaking down the film on Logan Wilson. Maybe he just lost his whatever explosiveness and speed that he had over the last couple of years, but he has fallen way down the list. You would have said, 2 years ago, you might have said he was one of the 10 best players on the Bengals, right? And now it's still in his 20s on another team, now released by that other team, and it happens quickly.
Look, the league is every position in the league is one where you are hired to be fired, right?
Sure.
That's how the league works, and that's from top down. That's GM down in the organization. You bring in guys until you can find the next guy that does the job better than the guy you have.
It's like being one of my producers.
But, with players, when it happens, for whatever reason, skills deteriorate for guys at whatever the speed they go down. Right? There's nothing you can do about it. And for Logan, apparently, it's gone down.
Yeah.
In the past 2 or 3 years, it happened fast for him. That's unfortunate for Logan Wilson. But the league's not going to wait on you to get back to it. They're just going to go, bye.
Not at all. That's what I'm saying. They know from watching the film whether Logan Wilson's even worth raising an eyebrow towards.
It's what makes Foye remarkable.
That he's been able to do it at that level consistently.
It's not that at some point the wall's not going to come for Foye, but it hasn't come yet.
Nope.
For that guy, and good for him for finding a way to work around it.
At the Athletic Tone on the almost the eve of the scouting combine, they did a future question for every team. What is one question every team is dealing with as we head into the combine? I'll tell you what they said about the Jaguars here. They said the Jaguars' new regime of GM James Gladstone and Coach Liam Cohen made the loudest play of the 2025 draft by moving up for Travis Hunter. And they don't have a first-round pick in 2026 as a result. Will the former Rams duo follow the same bleep them picks mantra as their old colleagues or downshift to build out the roster with a more methodical approach? I don't think it's all or nothing.
No.
Right? I think it's you don't just go, hey, let's make a bold move this draft. Well, you make a bold move if you think that there's a player that's worthy of it, that maybe there aren't a lot of other difference makers in there, and you're in position to make that move without completely gutting your team. Some people will say, well, 2 firsts and a second for Travis Hunter is pretty big gutting. Well, it's really, you say 2 firsts, they were going to use that 5th on somebody.
Mm-hmm.
So the difference is a first and a second, plus they moved up in the 4th round, and the pick they used on Basil Tootin, I believe, was part of that. They wouldn't have had that pick had they not done that deal. So I don't think it's just, do we go nuts or do we build out the depth? I think James Gladstone and Liam Cohen and Tony Baselli and the whole brain trust is sitting there going, we're not going to pass up an opportunity to be bold, but we're not just going to do it for the sake of doing it.
No.
So would I be surprised if they move up? No, I wouldn't. How can you be after what they gave up last year? But at the same token, I could see them sitting going, you know what? I think something's good is going to fall to us here. We do need to flesh out this roster a little bit. And me personally, I'd rather have the 4 picks where they are than having 1 late first rounder and maybe an additional 5th, that you get like a late first and a 5th for those 4 picks, because that's kind of what the chart will tell you is available to you if you go that route. I'd rather have the surplus, particularly in a year where, as most people will tell you, they're only at top a dozen true first-round grades. We're not getting into the top 12.
No, not getting into the top 12. And the 3 of us doing the mock draft today, we didn't trade, right? And it's not like we have a hard, fast rule that you can't trade. But I do think if I'm going to make a trade in the mock drafts that we're going to be doing on Mondays here for a while, if I do it, I think it's going to be, do I have a player that I like enough to move into the end of the first round to go get? And what is it going to cost me to get there? And trying doing the mental math of what that looks like if they are going to make a bold move at some point in this year's draft. What will that cost if they're going to do that kind of thing? And if that kind of option is not available in this year's draft, okay.
Sure.
And that's where I expect it to land, is that they're going to wind up picking at 56. But if I'm going to do a trade in my media mock draft, it's likely going to be, I'm going to pause the draft at a spot and say, can I get to 28? Because this guy is still there. But I got to even figure out who this guy would be.
Sure. Maybe we'll do that next week, though, as an exercise. Like, let's pick a guy that you're willing to go up for and then make that move and see what you can pull off and making a big swing. But that's then when we come back, we'll look at the results we got today. We asked you to send your 4-pick 3-round mocks in for the Jags, and it gave you the link there to the Pro Football Network mock draft generator. We'll see what player combinations our listening audience came up with as we wrap up today's Jaguars Today straight ahead on 1010XL and 92.5 FM. Hey, folks, Mike Debs here. Love to tell you about a great golf tournament that's coming up here on the First Coast with the opportunity to see LPGA Tour stars of tomorrow, and they'll be competing at the Atlantic Beach Country Club March 5th through the 7th with the Epsom Tours Atlantic Beach Classic. It's presented by Access Golf, and it's the first stop on the pathway to the top 15 ladies receiving their LPGA Tour cards at the end of the season. So get out there, watch some high-quality golf, support the ladies of tomorrow. The IQ Fiber Linkside Lounge will be the best value you find. You get an all-inclusive ticket with food, beer, wine, and spirits for only $100. So visit AtlanticBeachClassic.com and enter promo code IQ to get that special rate. Friday afternoon will feature a fantastic Fairways to Fashion show presented by Bosco Builders, featuring Epsom Tour players and Atlantic Beach boutique stores. Limited tickets still available. Visit AtlanticBeachClassic.com to purchase. That's AtlanticBeachClassic.com.
Jaguars Today.
From the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors Studios. 1010XL. Live streaming from the XL Digital Studios. Brightened by Harbor Dental Care. Jacksonville's first choice for dental emergencies.
The Players' Championship returns to TPC Sawgrass March 10th through 15th. Experience golf's most iconic stage with enhanced food and beverage offerings, interactive fan attractions, and an atmosphere built for every type of fan. See the best players in the world, including world number 1 Scotty Scheffler, 2025 champion Rory McIlroy, and fan favorite Brooks Koepka take on the legendary Stadium Course and the famous Island Green. Tickets available at theplayers.com.
Jaguars Today.
You're settled into a Dream Finders Homes Monday.
Are you looking for a place to outfit your truck or van? It's Catlin Truck Accessories. For 105 years and 4 generations, Catlin is the name you can count on. This is Keith Catlin, and we know trucks and vans too, from Lear toppers, ladder racks, van shelving, strobe lighting, roll and lock bed covers, and everything in between. If you want quality products and great customer service, there's only one name. It's Catlin.
Who can you count on? Count on Catlin.
For 105 years, you can count on Catlin.
Leon Serza here, your lemon pepper guy. You know Wingstop always delivers. And I'm not talking about their cook-to-order, hand-sauced and tossed chicken sandwich in your choice of 12 mouth-watering flavors. I'm not talking about the house-made ranch. So good, nobody will blame you if you double dip. I'm talking about Wingstop that delivers straight to your door. And did you know they're open until 1 a.m.? So visit wingstop.com or use the app to get flavors delivered right to your door late night only at Wingstop.
Can't stop. Wingstop.
Basketball is back as Division I college hoops take center stage with the UNF Ospreys. Osprey basketball returns to CSI Company's court at UNF Arena Thursday, February 26th against the Eagles from Florida Gulf Coast. It's a battle of the birds. Come support the Ospreys February 26th against Florida Gulf Coast. Tip-off at 7 o'clock. Get your tickets at UNFOspreys.com/buy tickets now. UNFOspreys.com/buy tickets now.
Swoop! If you are an experienced electrician looking for your next big opportunity, look no further than the Miller Electric Company, a trusted name in the industry for over 96 years. At Miller Electric, we tackle the biggest projects in the city, offering you the chance to showcase your skills on a grand scale. We believe in rewarding hard work with the best pay, top-notch benefits, and an unbeatable culture where people actually care about each other. Take your career to new heights with Miller Electric Company. Apply today at millercareers.com. Miller Electric, an equal opportunity employer.
Hey, it's Matt Hayes. I'm celebrating a little anniversary this week. 2 years ago, I hit my goal weight with Awaken 180. 40 pounds gone. And now I know it's not 100 plus like Hacker, but 40 was my number. That was the weight holding me back, slowing me down. And the best part? Free maintenance for life. That's the difference. I didn't do it with meds, didn't do it with side effects, didn't rely on a shortcut that I had to stay on forever. I did it with a plan, awesome coaching, and learning how to eat in a way that actually works in real life. Awaken 180 knows you travel, knows you eat out, knows you have cravings. A real-life plan for real-life people. Maybe your number's 25 pounds. Maybe it's 40 like mine. Maybe it's over 100 like Hacker. Whatever your number is, we're proof you can reach it and keep it off without putting something in your body you don't want there. Awaken 180 works. Get your number at awaken180weightloss.com. That's Awaken180weightloss.com or call 844-346-1800.
I'm Frank Franzi, and I just got back from the farm at Okefenokee in Folkestone. Man, was I impressed. You have to see these handcrafted cabins. But act fast. On this 1,000-acre farm, there will only be 250 cabins. Each phase has jumped in value, so come get your lot and lock in your equity. Enjoy living in harmony with nature, going to the grocery store in your own backyard, and connecting with people grounded in food and purpose. Learn more at okefarm.com. That's okefarm.com.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Focused, fueled, fearless, Farah. Everything you need to know about the Jaguars today on 1010XL.
Hey, how you feel about double dipping at linebacker if they lose Devin Lloyd in the draft?
Yeah.
If the value,
be all right.
Would be the worst thing in the world. You know, Anthony Campanile, former linebackers coach by trade, now defensive coordinator. You got to be a little bit careful. Like, you want to build it, Tony, the way that your defensive coordinator wants to utilize these guys, but your defensive coordinator is not always going to be around for the longest amount of time. Anthony Campanile got interest from multiple NFL teams, and, you can't go, well, Campanile might not be here. We can't draft that type of linebacker. But you know what I'm saying? Like, you can build something, and the next guy comes in, and you got to be a little bit careful that he's not going to change everything around. But I think for now, you lean into the improvement that you saw Anthony Campanile get out of his players last year. And if they want to go that direction, there's some intriguing linebackers in that range. I mentioned that because a couple of people did double dip on linebacker, and they commented about it. Here are some of the 4-player mocks that we got.
Okay.
From Ed, he had Georgia defensive tackle Christian Miller, Iowa offensive guard Jennings Dunker, Deontay Lawson, Alabama linebacker, and Eli Raridon, if I'm saying that right, the tight end out of Notre Dame. So defensive tackle, guard, linebacker, tight end. And really probably what I'm better focused on here are the positions. Dom went with defensive line, meaning tackle, edge rusher, corner, and safety. Eric, I told you, had almost the exact same players as me, and he even said that where I took Jadarian Price and he took Devin Moore, we both considered the opposite on that one. So there are a lot of guys in that range that are overlapping now. Here's another one: linebacker, offensive tackle, running back from Jag Warrior, Cobalt Blue, defensive tackle, offensive tackle, corner, edge. So it's been, I would say, 75% defense with those 4 picks for the most part, and maybe one offensive outlier, running back and offensive line being the 2 obvious positions there. You see the occasional tight end thrown in. Anyway, you can check them all out by going to @MD_1010XL on Twitter and see what folks replied with, and hopefully you'll participate next week in Mock Draft Monday as well. Our time on this Monday is done, so let's welcome in XL Primetime.
Now, the 2-minute drill is driven by nobody but Nimnicht. Nimnicht Chevrolet on Cassett Avenue and Nimnicht Buick GMC on Phillips Highway.
All right, Big Sirs in the house.
Gentlemen, how you doing?
We're well, man. It's Combine Week.
It is.
Jags will not be there, but what does this week mean for these guys? Like, how much stock movement, how much weight do you put into performances at the Combine as a measure of athletic ability compared to what folks have seen on tape?
I'm not a big fan of it, but I know it's a necessary means for it gives opportunity to elevate, guys who may be down want to go up, guys who up don't want to go down. I'm a big proponent of watching the film, but there's so much invested in this, you still got to perform well. So it's important and this will be the first time these guys get a taste of what the NFL is really all about. Meet the GM, meet the coaches, meet the scouts, expectations, level, going up against competition, all that kind of stuff. So I think it's an open door for the NFL, and it's good for a lot of these guys.
Yeah, meet the coaches and the GMs, except for ours.
Yeah, except for ours. Yeah, we'll see them later.
Or the Rams.
Yeah.
We'll see you later, or if we draft you. It's when we'll see you. Sirs, what's coming up on your show today?
Well, Combine. We're going to talk Combine, and we're going to talk a bit Olympics.
All right, there you go. Olympics wrapping up, and USA doubles in hockey gold. Have a great show.
Appreciate it.
All right, there he goes. Big Sirs on the way in with the XL Primetime crew for the next couple of hours. Thanks to Eric Edholm from NFL.com for joining us today. Talk a little draft and off-season. We'll have more of those kind of guests coming up this week as we move towards the scouting combine coming up on Thursday, Friday, and into next week for sure. So for Tony Smith and RJ Saunders, I'm Mike Dempsey. Pour one out for the Wasp, and we'll talk to you tomorrow here on Jaguars Today on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Jaguars
Today.
From